Hello fellow stackers, 365 here, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming in a different setup and I thought it would be nice to showcase this chest that I've got. Now you might have seen this in my previous videos and it's a chest that I got from eBay and I just wanted something that looked a bit rustic and old and just something cool to store my precious metals in. Now you can see it looks very old, it looks very antique kind of finish. And I just thought it's something really cool to put my silver in. Now I had to actually repair the bottom of one of the legs because you can see they're all looking old and this one actually had snapped off, so I actually just got a bit of wood and just literally glued it on there. So yeah, apart from that, it's something that looks pretty cool and it's just a nice place to store my precious metals. Now it's got this red kind of velvet lining as well, which I think is pretty cool because it matches my kind of backdrop in my videos. So yeah, just a cool little chest where I store my precious metals. Now I also put them in an airtight container just because I like to keep them as protected from the air as possible, therefore keeping them as shiny as possible. So you can see this is my Tupperware full of 10-ounce stacker bars. Really cool. I've shown this before and it fits them perfectly and it just keeps them nice and protected from the air, and that keeps them nice and shiny for longer. Now some of my silver I like to keep out of capsules and in the air on purpose so that they get a nice kind of toning effect over time. But with these bars, I just think they look really nice when they're just nice and shiny. And you can see some of these have still got their protective factory mint layers on them. So it's really nice pieces of silver. Now you've probably seen these in my videos before. These are the 10-ounce versions. They're all serialized. You've got these swirls on the back. Just really nice pieces of silver. And the fact that they actually stack as well is what makes them so special. I've also got a tube of Britannias in here as well. And these are the tube Britannias that I use to film in all my videos. They're the ones that you saw me put in the snow. And they're just kind of ones that I don't mind if they get a little bit scratched or a little bit thrown around. You can see I've got some capsulated coins here as well. I've got a nice 1991 ASE. I've got a coin that my brother got me for Christmas, I believe. Something a bit different. Buffalo round. I need to get one of these in gold. I really like the ones in gold, but obviously this year, the rest of this year, I'm done stacking, so I'm going to wait till next year. But I would like the idea of having one of these, a 1-ounce one of these for like the long-term stack. I know I've said before I prefer the 1/4 ounce gold because I think they're going to be more liquid in the future, but I just really like the design on those. And then we've got the maple. This is an older maple, it hasn't got as many security features, but still really nice piece of silver. So in today's video, I wanted to discuss the savings accounts in the UK. Now, I'm not sure about the level of interest you receive on the US savings accounts, so this is kind of mainly going to resonate with people that are in the UK. However, you'll still be able to learn something from this video in whatever country you're from. So I heard a couple of people at work when I was at work yesterday discussing how interest rates on savings accounts have gone up and how they're going to be putting more money into savings accounts and they're going to be fixing it for a number of years to get the best return. And I didn't join in the discussion, but it was interesting just kind of listening to their thoughts. Now, they were saying how if you lock your money up for a period of time, you can get about 4% return on your money. And they were saying that is great, 4% return. I remember when it went down to 1% and 0.5% and that's really good, and they're all getting really, really excited about this 4% that you could get on savings accounts. Now, I haven't looked into the rates of savings accounts for a long time, because as soon as I learned that inflation was sitting around 10% currently, I realised that savings accounts were not a place to build wealth. They're not even a place to protect your wealth. They're not even a store of wealth, because unless you're beating the inflation rate, you're still losing money. So, for example, currently we're sitting at around 10 to 11% inflation here in the UK. So if you're putting your money into a 4% interest rate, then you're still losing 6%, because 10% inflation minus the 4% that you're getting on the interest still leaves you a negative 6% inflation. So you're still losing money. However great that interest rate sounds, it's not great when you can compare it to inflation. It really fascinates me the amount of people that don't realise the effect of inflation on your money. So I wanted to make a short video just kind of explaining the reasons why it is, in my opinion, always best to look at alternative investments other than your kind of high interest savings accounts. Now, as always, I'm not a financial advisor, so always make your own financial decisions. This is just kind of my research and my thought process behind it. So you can see I'm going to put on the screen now, these are the top fixed term savings accounts from moneysupermarket.com. And you can see the top fixed term savings account, the highest one on that list is 4.55%. And that is if you lock your money away for 3 years. So you've got to lock your money in that savings account for 3 years. Now, how these savings account works is quite often you can withdraw the money before that period. But if you kind of take it out before the full period, the full kind of lock-in term is done, you won't get any interest on it. So you either have a savings account that works like that, or you have one where you lock it in and you physically can't get hold of it. So either way, if you take your money out of that savings account before 3 years, you're not going to get that 4.5%. So essentially you have to leave it in there for the full term to get that 4.55%. So again, like I said, inflation is currently sitting around 10 to 11%. So even with locking your money away for 3 years, you're still losing around 6% a year on your spending power. Now, that's the most important thing to remember when you start looking into investing. Unless you're beating the current rate of inflation or matching it, you're not going to better yourselves in terms of your wealth and your net worth. It's as simple as that. If your money, if your cash is losing spending power quicker than it's gaining spending power, then obviously you're not going to be growing your wealth. So that's something you've got to think about when making any investment decision. Now, if we look at the charts for the last 3 years for silver in particular, you can see that it's gone up 71.84%. Now, if you divide that by 3, that works out roughly 23% a year. So you can see that if you was to invest your money into silver for the last 3 years, you would be gaining 23%. Now, minus the 10% inflation, you're still up 13%. So you're literally growing your wealth by 13% every single year. Now, that's obviously an average over 3 years. And as with all investments, some years are better than other. Some years it will go up, some years it will go down. Sometimes you might have 3 years where it's going down. That's why I've said before in other videos, you always need to plan long term when you're investing in precious metals. I always say minimum 15 years, absolute minimum 10 years. You don't even want to get involved in this stuff if you're just thinking 5 years, because it's too risky. If you lock up a lot of cash and you think that I'm going to need this money in 5 years' time, there might be 5 years where the price of silver is going down. So you might end up at a loss. You need to think long term in order to be able to ride the ups and the downs. So like I said, I say minimum 15 years, absolute minimum is 10 years when you're investing in anything really, whether it be stocks and shares, whether it be crypto. Now again, crypto can't really be classed as an investment. It's more of a kind of speculation. It's more of a gamble. But when you talk about the kind of main investment vehicles, which apart from property, because obviously that's a whole different different kind of factors come into that. You're talking leverage, and there's a lot more factors. If you're talking kind of the two main ones, which are stocks and shares and precious metals, now that's my opinion. I think you need to be thinking 10 years plus for putting your money in there. So obviously you can't always say that you're going to make 23% on this stuff every single year, because that's not realistic. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you was to put your money in silver for the last 3 years, you would be up 13% after inflation. However, if you put it into the highest interest rate account that is currently available in the UK and lock it in for 3 years, then you're going to be losing round about 6%. So that's the basics of this video, really, just to kind of explain to you the inflation and how it has an effect on your long-term wealth. And if you're not investing your capital, if you're not investing your cash into assets that are going to beat inflation, then you're never going to grow your net worth, and you're never going to grow your wealth, and you're not even going to protect your wealth. It's not even like you're going to be matching inflation to actually keep hold of your spending power. If it's anything under 10 or 11%, which is the current inflation rate, you're not even matching inflation. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I know a lot of this stuff is very basic for people that are understanding about the kind of financial system and investing, and they've been doing it for a few years, but I know a lot of people that watch my videos are fairly new to stacking, they're fairly new to investing, and it's just something to remember. You need to always be thinking about, what is the current inflation rate? Where am I going to invest my money to beat inflation? Not just match it, where am I going to beat it? Now, I remember when I first started stacking and first started investing in general, and people said to me, you need to be looking for minimum 10% returns to make it worthwhile with the current inflation rates. And I was thinking, that's insane, because I'd only seen these kind of interest rates for like these kind of fixed savings accounts of like 3% and stuff like that in the past. And I was thinking, there's nowhere that I'm going to be able to make 10% of my money. And it's only when I started looking into the S&P 500 index fund and precious metals and property, and it really started to open my eyes and make me see the bigger picture and realise that this is the reason why the rich are getting richer. And I know it's kind of a saying that's thrown around quite a lot, but it's so true. The rich are getting richer because they have more capital to invest, and they know the right places to invest it. So it's very, very simple once you understand the kind of basics of it. But like I said, the main thing to take away from this video is, make sure when you're investing your money, and as I said, I'm not a financial advisor, so make your own decisions, but make sure when you're investing your money, you're beating inflation, because otherwise you're still not growing your wealth. So yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. As always, thanks very much for watching my videos, and I hope you have a nice day.